I mean, if you're a Bears fan, you're thinking forward progress. Come on.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.
We give you Forward Progress on 312 Sports as we cover your Chicago Bears and their pursuit of a Super Bowl championship this season. There isn't much left to be determined, but there are some possibilities that we will go through all the playoff permutations once again for this last game of the season. The Bears will be kicking off 3:25, same time as the Eagles and the Commanders, a game they will be watching. And we got our first injury report of the week yesterday. It's an estimation because they only had a walkthrough. And Joe Tryon, Shoyinka, and Roma Dunze were the only DNPs. They did not participate. Josh Blackwell, limited participation with a shoulder injury. Luther Burden with his quad, also limited. Same goes for Nick McLeod with an illness, and Ozzie Trapillo with a knee injury and a quad injury listed. Full participation for wide receiver Olamide Zaccheaus, coming off the illness that kept him out of the last game. So things look okay, and I don't know where you are on how they make some of these decisions and where Ben Johnson's "we're playing to win" edict falls on how they decide who's going to go and who's not.
Yeah, then JTS, by the way, he had a concussion. I don't remember the incident in the game. Do you recall that? Maybe it just slipped my memory.
No, I think that was in between plays. They had mentioned something that he had been taken out. I don't remember seeing a specific
neither do I.
impact.
Okay, but yeah, he's dealing with concussion. And then on the Lions side of things, the three, well, for me, the most significant guys that were still active and playing, your guy Anelzone with a concussion, Sewell with an ankle, and then St. Brown with a knee and ankle were all DNPs. And just another note from our previous game here against the Niners, CMC and Williams were out Tuesday and Wednesday from their walkthroughs. Normally, they sit out Tuesdays as veteran rest days, but they were actually listed with injuries. So CMC with the back, and then Williams obviously with the hamstring. So that was a little significant change in their injury report for the Niners, who are playing a big game against the Seahawks this weekend, battling for the number one seed in the NFC. So as far as I'm concerned, Roma Dunze, even if he can go, shouldn't go. There's no reason for him to be out there. I'd give it another week and let's get ready for the playoffs. One area, and this might be controversial or maybe even stupid on my part, but Jaylon Johnson. We've talked about his performance. We've talked about how we can all recognize that he's just not quite there yet, and we can't, without being inside his head, we don't know if it's active, that he's just not putting the effort there, or if he just doesn't have the ability right now to put the effort forth that we're used to seeing him on the football field. Obviously, the coaches have seen something in that he was sat last week in the second half for Tyreek Stevenson. Then afterwards, he didn't seem happy. The tone that in the response he gave about being benched, that he's 100% healthy, doesn't quite get it. And I don't know if they would be able to pull this off without losing the player further mentally. If he's not quite ready, I'd rather sit him too. I would rather sit him and give him another week of not having game participation just because of trying to get back to it. But does that slow down that timeline of the reps and the time on task, as Ben Johnson always says, in playing the game itself to get back to where we're used to seeing him play? Is that even possible this year?
Well, he has to be hearing from trainers and strength and conditioning staff and everybody to make that call. I don't know how hurt or not Jaylon Johnson is. Mm-hmm. I also have a tough time when you see it on the tape and you can say, well, he didn't really stick his nose in there in the run game the way he has in the past, or the recovery speed isn't there. And there are any number of things you can nitpick on the tape that would explain why he was benched at halftime in favor of Tyreek Stevenson. But I always struggle to call out a player's effort. It may just be that despite what he said, when he said, I'm 100%, that maybe he is hurting, and maybe he knows it and he just doesn't want to say it. If he is 100% and he's not going to hurt himself further, and you've got some more difficult decisions to make when you're in a one-and-done situation after this week. Part of me kind of wants to know for sure. I'd rather have a little more data. And maybe you don't. Maybe that's the answer. Is you play him a few series. It's not binary. Maybe I kind of talked my way into the answer, and that is start him. See what, and if you got to take him out, take him out. If you feel like he's being targeted, if they see something, that'll tell you something. And you got to listen to what he says, and then look at the objective evidence in front of you, because that would really hurt if they have figured out that he's not what he was for the remainder of this year.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. I like that you said that, and maybe having a rotation or situational rotation between he and Stevenson, and getting some more data and some more opportunities and that more time on task to see what they can evaluate going into a one-and-done situation. I like that approach to it. So, see there, you convinced me that maybe he should play, and if it's not working out, then maybe they walk into it with an approach of rotating guys through, and that's just how it works. And at the end of the day, you're the player, they're the coaches, and they dictate the playing time. Sorry, and if that's a problem for you, then we'll see how that works out for being a part of the team.
And the most important thing you can do is just have him be as honest as he possibly can be.
Right.
It's like when a manager walks out to the mound to talk to that starting pitcher, and you just don't be a tough guy in that regard. If you say, hey, I got to come out, I got to rest up for next week, and if you're told, if whatever diagnostics, whatever imaging says that another week would help him get back to who he is, it's sort of like the decision when we were talking about with Trevon Diggs. The Packers liked what they saw. So he's in there practicing, running around right now. They put that claim in. It did not take them long. And you may think, I don't know, that if the Bears thought that Johnson were in a worse place than we believe, maybe that's a move they would have made.
Yeah, and we talked about that at length a little bit yesterday with the brothers Diggs. But I just think if Trayvon, to me, isn't playing a high level of football right now at this time. And that's why I didn't think it was worth the risk, because financially it wasn't even a question. And I just don't think he was there right now at the level of football. And with Johnson, though, too, we still, and we won't know maybe until after the offseason or after, who knows when, don't know what the exact injuries that he was dealing with. They don't know if it was one side, if it was both sides of the groin, if it was a hernia thing, because we heard core. And so we just don't know what it is. He just, to me, hasn't looked very fluid in his motion and his activity, and very unlike what we've seen from him in previous years. So I want the best possible situation for Jaylon Johnson to be on the field. And if he's not quite there, and if a rotation is a better move for Dennis Allen, if sitting him this week is better, as you mentioned, I don't know. I don't know, but maybe having more data, if he's not going to do more damage, would be great. But it is an area that needs to be addressed and figured out, and I just don't like the initial bubblings of some controversy that we saw after last week, being benched and then saying, I'm 100% healthy. I don't like that for this team, because we haven't had
the timing
any
sucks.
of those issues. Well, we haven't had any of those issues for this team. This has been a very good, clean locker room for the entire season, and I just don't want stuff like this to be an issue that we're talking about outside of football.
Yeah, I think it's still football. I do. I think something like this is still football, and I think the decisions I'll put it this way. I trust that the decisions these coaches make are not about ego or about veteran standing or trying to play political games in the locker room.
Oh no, I agree with that. We saw that displayed when he was taken out. I mean, if you're looking at Tyreek Stevenson or Jaylon Johnson, you're going to say, he's healthy, he's cleared to play, he's on the field. You're always going to play Jaylon Johnson over Tyreek Stevenson, but they didn't do that. So clearly they do that.
Do you expect that Jaylon Johnson's going to make noise about it? Do you expect that he's going to be – because I don't. I don't have reason to believe that.
Well, then I guess I didn't like the response then the other day about being asked about being benched. I was 100% healthy. I don't get it. Well, if he's part of it and he's on board with it, he would say, yeah, I'm getting my legs back underneath. This is what a veteran guy, a leader would say. I'm getting my legs back underneath me. And Tyreek is, Tyreek's a hell of a football player, and we're just as confident with Tyreek out there as having me out there. That's what you would say. And I think saying, and in the moment, that's easy for me as the outsider to step back and say, oh, this is what he should have said. And in the moment, if I'm the player, I'm probably saying, yeah, I don't get it. I'm fucking healthy. I want to be out there and play, too.
Well, Well, saying one is 100%, we've got to be careful with that.
He said it.
Right, but he could mean I'm 100% at capacity. It doesn't mean I'm playing my best football. At this time of year, everything is nuanced because everybody's got something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Everybody's a little hurt. Nobody's healthy. There isn't a single dude in there that feels fresh as a daisy like it's the first day of camp. Not one. So 100% for a lot of these guys just means if I'm playing, if I'm out there, if I'm in uniform, consider me 100%.
Right.
Because that's how I want to be judged. So again, it comes down to how honest they are with themselves. If he said, I'm as healthy as I'm going to be, I'm not playing my best football right now. My body's not responding the way I want it to for whatever reason, and that's why Tyreek's playing, and he may in certain situations give us a better chance to win. That's the hard stuff. That's the hardest thing for a player to recognize is I might be healthy enough. I might not be in terrible pain. I'm just not playing well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how would you feel if a player said that? I mean, it's not like they're giving away secrets because other teams could actually watch the film and say, yeah, he's clearly not 100%. We know what this guy can do. This is not that guy right now.
I don't say you say I'm going to do the best I can, and the coaches decide who plays. Mm-hmm. But if it is, again, you get into this gray area of effort. You can not be playing well, but still be finishing plays and still be trying to move the pile, still be racing in at the end of a play. You see that.
Yeah.
And if you're physically
and we see that
unable
we see that not happening, right?
If that is for physical reasons, or you're conserving yourself, or you're making business decisions this time of year, I don't know that we're gonna know that because nobody really would say that. I hope he's okay because he's one of their best players when he's right, and he's not one of their best players right now.
No, you're absolutely right, and. We've talked about the secondary, but there's another issue I want to talk about defensively with this team. And going into this season, we said the secondary was going to be the significant strength of what this defense was going to be all about, with Jaylon Johnson being the best player on the team going into this season. But the other issue, and I think a more significant issue, because we focus a lot this year, Dan, on the pass rush and the lack of pass rush, the lack of getting pressure on a quarterback, making a quarterback uncomfortable being able to see downfield, make throws and reads, and we saw it a lot with Brock Purdy. The Bears' rushing defense has just been atrocious all season. And it's something we really haven't focused on because it's been taken away by Caleb Williams' development, the growth of the offense, Ben Johnson and the offense, and the lack of pass rush. And where you have a lot of money spent in the offseason and in current contracts is in the front getting after the quarterback. 12 times this year, in 16 games, the Bears have given up 100 yards rushing. 100 or more yards rushing, 12 times. 10 times, Dan, they've given up 120 or more. 7 times this year, in 16 games, they've given up 150 or more rushing yards. 7 times. The last 2 games, do you know how many yards they've given up rushing in the last 2 games?
Well, they've given up 880 total in the last 2 games, and I would say 300 of that is rushing.
392.
Oi!
Those are the last 2 games in rushing yards. So it's something that we really haven't addressed enough because we really have been focused on Montez Sweat and the lack of pass rush and pass pressure that they've given opposing quarterbacks. But this rush defense is just as bad and has gotten a pass for whatever reason. Not a pass as we're okay with it, but a pass as far as our focus and shining a light on it and talking about it more than we need to. And even 2 weeks ago when we had Matt Miller on his weekly hit with us, we asked about increasing what can the Bears do to have more of a presence in the pressuring opposing quarterbacks, and his answer was immediate and said, "Be better against the rush." That's the first place to start. So what can the Bears do, and why has it been this bad the entire season?
The Bears are giving up 5 yards per attempt. And that is 4th worst right now in football.
And I want to say that's increased because I believe they were in the 4s.
Well, they are at 5 right now.
So they're in the four, so
2,165 yards and 430 attempts. The Giants average 5.3. The Bills just under that, also 5.3. The Bengals 5.2, and then the Bears. That is not good company.
No, it's
It's
not.
not. Then the Commanders, then the Matt Eberflus-led Dallas Cowboys. Not good. The best team against the rush? The Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, Seattle Seahawks. Where's Cleveland at up there?
Cleveland is they're the 24th, which is good. 32nd. Obviously, we're going by fewest here.
Yeah.
So Seattle is best, and then Denver, then Indianapolis, the Jaguars, the Raiders. Interestingly enough, the Chiefs, the Vikings, the Texans, the Browns.
Okay.
It's got to get better. And you're not going to fix everything right now, certainly.
Yeah.
And you're not going to fix everything between now and next year either.
No, you're not, but I didn't realize it was that significant where, I mean, dude, 7 games of 150 more.
That's why our guy Big Bill is not long for this team.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a few people have commented to us in email and then on YouTube as well about Big Bill's effort in the 43-yard run that CMC had, and I could have sworn we've talked about it in the post-game show because I called it out and said that he ran 40 yards downfield, and you said because they told him there was gravy at the end of the run.
Yes, we did. We definitely
did. We did say it on the
it.
post-game show. I knew we did. I knew we wouldn't ignore Big Bill. Yeah,
because there were some people who were expressing disappointment that we hadn't mentioned, and we also said that they didn't say so on the broadcast. Because it was right there on our screen that Christian McCaffrey was pinned underneath Andrew Billings.
Yeah, no, that was a different play where he got ignored. Then Sewell got all the credit for it. That was the tackle behind the line of scrimmage play where Big Bill sat on top of him, and he got zero recognition for the tackle.
Yeah, well, come on.
Yeah,
man.
no, the 40-yard play downfield. Yeah.
But
So we definitely talked about it. Maybe the people commenting
You're
just
right.
don't listen to the post-game show. So my question would be, why are you not listening to the post-game show?
Well, because that's the most fun. And we're going to be on again. I have confirmed, by the way, that you do indeed. We have a person in charge of sending out the notification on the app. Okay. So when you get the app for 312 Sports, and you should get it, because it's right here, and you hit the app, and it looks like this. See how neat that is? And there's all sorts of cool stuff on here. And then right here where there's this little bell, that's going to be, when you set that up, when we go live, your phone's going to buzz and say, hey, go, tune in live to YouTube, and they're doing the post-game show. And then you can be a part of that.
And I'm going to set it up early again. So last week I set it up around 7 p.m. for the 7:20-ish start. So the 3:25 start this week against the Lions, I'll have the show posted, and so the chat room will be open at like 3 o'clock.
So the link in the chat, in the live, and if you are on YouTube, you have to go in the live tab.
Yes.
Because people say, I couldn't find it because it wasn't in the shows. There's a tab that says like videos, shorts, live. If you hit live, that's where the link is going to be.
Right, and then you can go, and because we had people hanging out in the chat room throughout the course of the entire game. So I'll have that available early again, and we'll monitor and check the level of either joy or anger as the game is going through.
Yeah, I don't know that this is one that we're going to get too crazy about because, again, the so much is already decided. A lot of it's going to be determined by whatever this representation of the Philadelphia Eagles is ready to do against Josh Johnson and the Commanders. So if we're going to see Tanner McKee?
Tanner McKee. Yeah, they're going to unlock him, and he's going to be the key to their success, Dan.
Tanner McKee. And as of right now, the Packers' starting quarterback, correct me if I'm wrong, is Clayton Tune.
Have they made a decision on that? Because I know that Clayton Tune, and then they signed another guy, and Jordan Love was also throwing, though, too. So yesterday in practice, Malik Willis was the only quarterback of the 4 that was not throwing during practice.
They signed Desmond Ridder, right?
Desmond Ridder, correct. Yeah, so Ridder was throwing, the cartoon was throwing, and then Jordan Love was throwing and participating in throws, but Malik Willis was not.
Okay.
And then as far as the playoff picture is concerned, So the Eagles and Niners are playing for the NFC West as well as the number 1 seed. So the winner will get the number 1 seed. The Bears, if they win, will retain the number 2 seed. Now, there is a possibility the Bears could drop to the 3 seed. If the Bears lose and the Eagles win, they would have identical 12-5 records. Or no, 11. Bears would be 11-6. The Eagles would be 12-5. So the Eagles would jump the Bears and go to the 2 seed.
And then the Bears would play a
home game against the Rams as the 6th seed.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah. So
I think that's right.
Yeah, 2 and 7. So Eagles would play the Packers, the Bears would play the Rams, and then the 4 seed would get either the Niners or the Seahawks, depending on the outcome of that game.
Well, I don't mind if I really had to decide and pick an opponent for that first playoff game. Right now, for sure, it would be the Packers.
Okay.
Absolutely would be. They've beaten them. They have the muscle memory of knowing they have beaten them.
Yeah.
They're at home. The Packers are hurting.
They are hurting. That's correct. And they have some issues at quarterback. We don't know what that's going to look like. But does the familiarity with the teams, does that bother you at all? Does that make you
No.
No, okay.
No, because
it benefits the Bears, but it also benefits the Packers in being familiar.
This is, again, this is the new world for some of us as fans. I think if you believe you have the better coach, familiarity makes you more likely to win.
And then looking at the 2 games they've played, the Packers have pretty much dominated all of, I don't know, what is it, 115 minutes out of 120?
So,
Okay.
yes, I mean, it's true. But in both games, the Bears observed and played and observed and found an answer. It wasn't enough in the first game, but they had their chance. And in the second game, it was enough. So
Yeah,
it's very, very new for me to have this level of trust in a Bears coach to say, if these teams play, the more they play, the more I like the Bears' chances.
The Bears' chances. Yeah, no, that's smart. I get it. The thing for me is, and I don't care who they play. I don't care what team they play. I have the Bears winning and going to the Super Bowl and winning it all. So it's fine. I mean, my official bet is there on my bookie. So it's done. The Bears are going to win. I don't care who they play in the wild card round. They're going to win the game.
Wait a second. If you're looking, if it's fatalism now, that sort of screws everything up. If you've already decided, look, it doesn't matter because you've picked them to win, therefore they are going to win, then that renders a lot of what we're doing at the moment kind of moot.
No, it doesn't. Here's the whole point is that my anxiety level is going to be so much higher if it's the Packers.
Why?
Because you
don't want to lose to them? Is this like the Cubs playing the Brewers?
I don't want. Yeah, that's not even close. The emotional investment is not even close. Not even the same. Even though it's huge for the Cubs, but no, you're right. I don't want to lose to the Packers. I don't want to lose to the Packers. I don't want to hear those motherfuckers come back next year and say, "Oh yeah, whatever. You won the division. We beat you in the playoffs." I don't want to hear that shit.
But embrace it. Don't be scared of it.
I'm not scared of it.
Trust that the Bears will win.
They're going to win.
If you pick them,
they're going to win.
Well, which is it? Then
Shut up! Stop trying
to
make sense.
Then you shouldn't have any anxiety.
Okay. All right. Let me get a mirror real quick, and I'll throw that right at you.
But look, I copped all my anxieties, but I'm not going to say, therefore I picked them, so now I proved that I'm certain they're going to win. This is like Terry. Remember when Terry's like, that's my pick. I made my pick.
I know. So now I'm Terry again all of a sudden? Oh, boy.
Do you remember that whole thing? Well,
yes,
I do. Of course I thought they were going to win. I picked them. I
do,
picked them.
of course.
I said they were going to win, buddy.
Terry, a lot of times, he contradicted himself a lot. It was really sweet.
Wait a second.
Yeah, it's the meatball in me, Dan. I can't help it. You know?
Got the magic power of the meatball in me. I'm young, I'm wild, and I'm free. Did you hear they're getting back together?
No.
Triumph. Yes.
Really?
I was told Keith Hastings, the program director of The Drive, told me that Triumph is getting back together.
Okay, well, geez, we've all been waiting for that.
Have we?
Yes, I mean, we talked about it last week. Don't you remember on the DVU episode?
Guess what the name of their tour is?
No, nothing.
It's
I
the
got nothing.
2026 50th anniversary. It's Triumph's first major tour in over 30 years. The Rock and Roll Machine.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay. So now it's okay. So clearly they're listeners, and it's a bit. This is just a bit now.
The Rock and Roll Machine Reloaded.
All right. So Triumph's doing a bit from DVU.
All right.
I love
it's
it.
original members Gil Moore, Rick Emmett, and Mike Levine. And Bruce Levine is actually playing with them, too. and special guest April Wine.
Oh, good stuff too. April wine. This is good as cranberry wine.
All right. Well, they're coming to Rosemont Theater
Oh wow.
on May 13th.
So
We should see if we can get Triumph tickets in the app. If we already have Guns N' Roses tickets
with Public Enemy.
with Public Enemy, we should definitely have Triumph and April Wine tickets in there. I'm gonna talk to some people.
Okay,
See
so
what we can do.
Two things I'm going to share with you real quick. So I went to the Google machine. Mike Levine is the brother of Maroon 5 singer Adam Levine. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yes, they are brothers. And the Google machine here didn't tell me that they were brothers because they shared parents either.
Oh, because they only do that with black people, right?
Yes.
That's what it says.
Racist Google.
Right, racist Google. They don't bother by telling you that the white people share parents.
So I never knew that. I never knew that they were related.
I've never heard of Mike Levine, so how would I know they're related?
Okay, I'm going to go there too because I have never heard of Mike Levine, so therefore I could have never known they were related. I didn't know he existed.
But you picked him to win the Super Bowl.
And just on the off chance, because he's a singer and his last name is Levine, I thought, I wonder what the chances are of them being related. And sure enough, they are brothers.
What about Avril Lavigne?
She's not their brother. No.
What about Zach Levine?
Zach Levine is not their brother either.
Okay, are you sure? Because
Yes.
now you got to check racist Google. Now the answer might be different. But I think it would be great if their 30th anniversary Rock and Roll Machine tour also involved Bruce Levine somehow playing music with him. But that's just me.
He can cover the tour.
And that's not why
Can
you
do like
called.
an almost famous documentary type thing.
I am a golden god. I'm in. I'm absolutely in for it. The Bears have 4 players from this year's draft who not only are good right now, but might be good for a while. Do I have this right? I just want to make sure as I'm looking at the Bears drafts. And do not do that, by the way, if you don't want to throw up.
Wait, what are you doing? What did you just do?
Here's what I did.
Because I got to trying to correct something here.
I'm looking at Bears drafts.
Okay.
And I just want to make sure I have this right. This is just this year. The first round pick, Colston Loveland. He's got 48 catches for 622 yards and 5 touchdowns. And we have every reason to believe he's a potential star, right? Okay.
Wait, before you go on any further, hang on one second. I need to correct something.
Am I bothering you? Am I distracting you?
No,
from
I
something?
need to correct something because I was putting the ages together in my brain here, and they're not related. Adam Levine does have a brother named Mike Levine. It's not Mike Levine from Triumph, though.
You're worthless. No,
Why am I worthless?
No, wait, hold on.
That's
That
rude.
makes sense because Triumph
That's
is.
rude.
How long
Yeah,
have they
they're
been?
old.
Sorry,
Yeah, they're
how long?
old.
Yes, Triumph has been around how long?
A long time. I mean, it's been 30 years since they had a tour.
Right. So they're.
Well, you immediately went with it too, douche.
Well, I don't know if maybe if you don't use racist Google, maybe they were brothers from another mother over a long period of time.
Right, it didn't say that, so it didn't clear. But yeah, I started thinking as you started talking about the draft classes, I was like, Wait a second. They're going to be a big age gap there between Mike and Adam. So let's take a look a little further. So I did a little deeper dive with Google's, and yeah, sure enough, they happen to have the same name, but they're not related.
All right. Well, I've got more information because they've expanded their lineup for the Rock and Roll Machine.
Yeah, we'll get the draft classes in a second.
The expanded lineup includes Todd Kearns and Brent Fitz from Slash's band, and
Sweet.
And
but not Slash.
No, not Slash.
Okay.
You got guys from his band, and Phil X from Bon Jovi.
He used to be Phil Twitter.
Phil X? I've never heard of any of these people. Yes, Canadian musician Phil X. His real name is Theophilos Zenidis.
Oh, he's Greek.
He is Canadian and a songwriter who plays lead guitar for Bon Jovi, officially replacing Richie Sambora in 2016. Okay. But he's going to be playing with the Canadian power trio that isn't Rush. It's Triumph.
And not related to Adam Levine of Maroon 5.
They can't sing "We're Young, We're Wild, and We're Free" because they're
Correct.
old as hell.
Right.
Are they still going to sing it, though?
They're going to. Well, I mean, what do you expect the quality of level of singing to be anyway? And the rock and roll machine. What is it?
The Rock and Roll Machine reloaded.
Rock and Roll Machine.
Well, yeah, Gil Moore is 72.
Oh. Jesus Christ.
What?
So then how old would the Levine parents be if Michael and Adam were related?
They probably slowed up a lot. Rick Emmett is also 72.
Like they call him in one day. He's like 42 and they call him in. Hey, we got some news. Mom's pregnant.
What? I hope they name it Mike. Mike Levine's 76.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks every bit of it, too. He looks like a...
Okay, so if Michael Levine and Adam Levine were brothers, it'd just be a 30-year age gap. That's all.
Yeah, well, maybe it was an accident.
Which one?
The later one, I think, would be more likely. Unless your family planning sucks.
I was definitely an accident. Did I ever told you this?
No.
My parents won't cop to it, but my brothers are 9, 8, 7, and 6 years older.
Oh, completely.
Yeah, I was a total accident.
There's no question.
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, Mike Levine was a contestant on the Christmas Eve 1996 episode of Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is getting better and better. Seriously?
We got to go to this concert.
Where's it at?
Rosemount Theater.
Okay. Oh, done. You want to go?
No.
Okay, either do I. I don't like concerts.
I like the concerts we used to have at in the other tower. 4 songs, 5 songs maybe.
Oh, yeah, because they are too long. But also, my favorite concert ever, and we talked about this, was at Wrigley, and it was Elton John, Billy Joel, because I was able to sit the entire time.
That's nice, too.
Yeah, I didn't have to stand. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, I just think most concerts, it's just too much, there's too much music.
So you should be a reviewer for concerts.
But no,
It was good, but they played too much music. There were too many songs.
They're just too long.
Too long.
It's too long. Like, Beth asked me to go see Springsteen. Hell no. I'm not going to see Bruce Springsteen. It plays for 3 hours.
Yeah, you know who I would never see is who's the guy, real popular guy that I don't like, and he dumped his the tour bus toilet water into the Chicago
Matthews
River.
Band.
Yeah, Dave Matthews. So I would never. I mean, if they were playing, you put them with U2. If they're playing in the backyard, I'm not watching. But I went and saw a Dave Matthews cover band here up at Austin's Saloon in their Fuel Room here in Libertyville. And
we did shows from there before.
we've done a lot of shows there,
Yeah.
and the cover band, the songs themselves are 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in sitting through a song that's that long.
Yeah, it's too
That's
long.
too much.
It's too long. That's why those concerts at
Give me 90 seconds to 2 minutes tops. Get your song out, tell your story, and finish it up. I'm good.
Yeah, that's why the Ramones were great. It's like, oh, I know this song. Oh, it's over already. Okay, that was fun.
So
You
Mike
get on with your day.
Levine, when the band when Triumph disbanded in 1993, he continued to merchandise the band's recordings and songs. He then went into business and began living part-time in Jamaica.
That's not bad.
Yeah. And what year was he at Wheel of Fortune?
1996.
Okay, so then 3 years later, so he moves to Jamaica. He's living down there for a bit. And then 3 years later, he goes on Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
He's sounding like a very interesting man.
Not particularly.
76. You think we should
I
get
think
him
we
on?
should have him on from the 50.
No,
he won't even remember turning 50.
Too old.
Yeah, way too old.
I'm having him on DBU.
From the 70.
I have him on DBU, and you can just do a in-depth one-on-one interview.
I'm here with Mike Levine. His name may be pronounced Levine, but I haven't done the research. Don't know.
Maybe we could ask Bruce to come on. You can do the whole Levine clan. We get Adam, Bruce, Mike, Avril,
Zach.
Yep.
And then they're all there.
Yep.
So speaking of the Bears and the Packers, Beth and Jason were at the Hawks game 2 nights ago.
Okay.
Reported a spontaneous "fuck Green Bay" chant started up at the Hawks game.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
What is that for?
How did that? Was there?
I don't know.
Was there a Bears player at the game? Did they drop the ceremonial first puck? I mean, did
I
they
don't
sing
know.
an anthem? Were they?
I don't know. I just know that it just started up. It was like a Detroit sucks, but everybody was talking about Green Bay. I don't know what the reason was for it. Oh, and speaking of hockey, I watched the first 2 episodes of Heated Rivalry.
Yes.
Yes.
And
it's the first 2. They're good. It's a good show. It's exactly what it is. Softcore porn, close to bordering on hardcore.
Okay, and then
It is very graphic. Whoever was the intimacy coordinator had their work cut out for them.
when I texted you, did that ever occur or no?
No,
Okay.
no, not yet.
All right.
But it's good. It's a really interesting idea, and I'm invested in it. I'm gonna go. Apparently, that's sort of the end of the first act of the first season. There's 2 episodes, and the next 2, and then the next 2, and probably tomorrow I might finish it all up.
Surprised that you only watched 2.
That's all we had time for. We had to.
That's right. You had
we had
dinner
to
and
take a
stuff
shower.
to-
We had to go
to go
out,
to.
and I had to get myself together to leave the house and go out in public and all that.
All right,
Good
before
though.
I derailed everything with the Levine brothers.
Yeah, I was getting to the draft.
You were talking about draft classes for Bears draft, so let's get into that, 'cause
So
that's
hold
a
on.
good
Just
conversation
wait.
to have.
Loveland is good, might be great. Agree?
Correct. Yes, I agree.
Luther Burden, good, might be really good.
Agreed.
Ozzie Trapillo, good enough, and we have no reason to think his arrow isn't also pointed up.
Agreed.
Kyle Monungai, definitely good and should get better or at least stay good.
I agree. So that's 4 arrows pointing up. Yes.
4. That's
Yes.
one draft.
Yes.
And Shamar Turner, another second-round pick, hurt, done for the year. We have no idea. Ruben Hippolyte, probably meh. Zay Frazier, we don't even know. He hasn't even reported yet. And Luke Newman, he's been active for multiple games, has played, and has looked okay. Mm-hmm. If these guys pan out on this trajectory, it would be by far the best offensive Bears draft class in their history.
I agree with that 100%. And I will say, because when I originally kind of framed it, it was looking at the impact on this year, and it is by far the most significant offensive draft class to impact rookie season. They are not where they are right now without those guys.
All 4.
Yes.
And you would have to start comparing this to, dare I say, other better teams to look at an impact like this. And sure, the Bears have had great drafts before, not for a while, but they have had a couple of great drafts. But it wasn't mostly offense. Just going back and looking at some of these names, like in 2004, Tommy Harris, Tank Johnson, Bernard Berrien, Nathan Vasher.
Right.
That's
defense.
that's a really good draft.
Good, great, but defense.
Yeah, and Berrien mattered for them. He made some
He did.
huge plays for them. If you look at the draft that they had the year before, that was the year they had Michael Haynes and Rex Grossman in the first round. The second round pick was Charles Tillman, and the third round pick was Lance Briggs.
Right. So defense again, and yes, Rex Grossman was the quarterback when they went to the Super Bowl. I understand that, but those Lovie Smith teams, they weren't successful because of offense.
All right, so
They were successful because of defense.
Brian Urlacher and Mike Brown in 2000. It was really all that. I mean, Des White was in that draft. Dustin Lyman, remember that? But it was.
I mean, to go back, you have to go back to 2001 to find an offensive player that was drafted that had a significant impact on that season. That was Anthony Thomas. A-Train was Rookie of the Year. He had over 1,000 yards. But again, those teams were successful because of their defense.
All right, let me argue this. The Bears had two of the best players in their history at their positions in the 98 draft. Their third round pick and their sixth round pick in 98. That was the year they got Olin Kreutz and Patrick Manley.
Okay, but I mean, look at that 98 season, though. What was the 98 season?
Bad.
Right, so
their
that's
first
the-
two picks were Curtis Enos and Tony Parrish. So, but you got to, if you're really looking at just offense, you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going back to, Curtis Conway and Chris Gedney in '93, and then we're scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I can't believe how many of these feel relatively recent to me. It's at '88. They had two first-round picks, Brad Muster and Wendell Davis, and RoboCop James Thornton, who were all productive players. But the fact that I'm already looking at 1983, where you had Jimbo Covert and Willie Galt, who were both number ones.
Yeah, and then went on, obviously, 2 years later, they win the Super Bowl, but that 83 season, they were a 500 team.
And that draft, again, you had Richard Dent in the 8th round, and Tom Thayer in the 4th, Dave Duerson in the 3rd, Mike Richardson in the 2nd, Mark Bortz also in the 8th round.
Right.
God darn it, man. So it could be, the answer could be that this might be the most impactful first round for draft for offense since '75 of Walter Payton, Reeve Sorey, and Bob Avellini.
Yes, I mean you have to. Yeah, you're going back 50 years, Dan.
Oh, I know.
To find that, yes.
And I kept looking at all this until I ended up back in 1961.
And 61, that's Ditka's rookie year.
That's Ditka's rookie year.
Right.
And he was maybe it's one of the greatest rookie years a tight end has ever had.
Yeah, he had almost 60 catches, over 1,000 yards. He had 12 touchdowns in 61.
65 was the Butkus Sayers draft.
Yep.
It was a great draft. He's never won anything.
Correct.
Ever. I don't think
So-
they didn't make the playoffs.
65, they were 9-5.
I thought Butkus never made the playoffs, did he?
I think you're correct. You skipped over 62 though, where the Bears drafted a running back who was rookie of the year for the NFL, Ronnie Bull.
He was rookie of the year?
Yeah, dude, and you got to see his numbers
bad.
too. His numbers are like, this was unbelievable. I think he finished with, he had over 300 yards receiving, had 360 yards rushing. He had one rushing touchdown. He had 5 fumbles, and he was the NFL's rookie of the year.
Well, they didn't have stats back then or televisions. And nobody went to games.
And they didn't have eyes.
Yeah, right. No one had eyes then. They couldn't actually watch what was going on. Yeah, I don't know how they determined it. I'm not.
But yeah, I think if you look at this draft class from an offensive perspective, it is by far the most significant offensive draft class for a Bears general manager, impacting that rookie season.
Okay, now can I edit what you just said?
You can do whatever you'd like.
Because you said for a general manager. Technically, it's the GM making the picks. What I would argue, back to what we said earlier in this program about trust in the coach, I think not just the decision on whom to pick and why to pick them, but their eventual success is due to Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Loveland, Burden, Trapillo, Manungai, that Johnson had a hand in the selection, in the vision, in the development, and in their current success. Congratulations to Ryan Poles, but it may be the best thing that ever happened to him, and the best thing that ever happened to Kevin Warren to date is the hiring of Ben Johnson.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna disagree or argue with that. As he is clearly the most in this early year. I mean, through one season, 16 games, NFC North champions, 1 game to go. The most important coach hired since Ditka.
Oh, Lovey.
Yeah, no, Lovey's right there. I mean, Lovey. You're looking at overall for an organization that's one of the oldest in the NFL. George Halas, Mike Ditka, Lovey Smith, Ben Johnson.
I have a more important question. Is there anything? I just want to provide you the opportunity to abridge or amend anything else you've said about the band Triumph that may be wrong. Just in case, because I know we had to make that big Mike Levine.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Change.
Whatever, I don't care.
Adam
yeah, but what else was I wrong about? Because I'm I don't care about Triumph. I don't give a shit.
You.
So
yes. I successfully rage baited you.
You didn't rage bait me. I don't care.
No,
I just don't care. Like, what else did I say wrong about Triumph?
It was nothing. I'm just making sure you didn't, because I know it'll just eat at you. You won't be able to live with yourself.
No,
if
it's not going to. No,
wrong
buddy,
about,
I'm well over it. I don't give a shit.
It's
not important.
About the second best Canadian power trio.
Yeah.
Who are you guys? Well, we're the well-known Canadian power trio. Really? You're Rush? No. We're not Rush.
We're the rock and roll machine.
We're rock and roll machine.
Yeah, I mean,
we're the other Canadian power trio.
Like it's not. It's already forgotten, man. It's not going on my headstone that made a mistake about Triumph on January 1st, 2026.
Oh, you think it's not?
Unless you're buying it, then maybe it will. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why it's so funny. It just
yeah, because it was funny because you moved on to draft class talk, and I'm thinking. They've got to be a real big age gap between those two brothers. Let's take a look at that. Sure enough, went to Google and nope, not related. But what are the coincidence there that Adam Levine does have a brother named Mike? Just happens to be younger.
But he's not a 76-year-old former Wheel of Fortune contestant.
He's not part of a rock and roll machine.
As far as we know, Reloaded. They had the rock and roll machine, and then the rock and roll machine was unloaded. So now it's rock and roll machine.
Hey, I got one other thing here for you. I always look at on ESPN at Bill Barnwell. He always writes NFL stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
He came out with his NFL All-Pro team.
Okay.
So
Joe Tooney on it.
He did first and second All-Pro. Can you name the Chicago Bears? The Chicago Bear. Can you name the Chicago Bear that made his All-Pro first or second team?
Tooney.
Tooney's the only one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. Who else? Everybody loves their hometown players, but there's always guys around the league who might be a little bit better. I don't know who else you'd put on there.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody else really. I mean, like look at these edge rushers. The 4 edge rushers he has. So there's the 2 in the first team and then 2 in the second team.
Yeah, I've got Myles
Garrett, Will Anderson Jr., Nick Benito, and Adam Hutchinson.
Aiden.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears don't. Montez Sweat
not even be close.
Come on.
Wide receivers.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Correct.
And I don't know.
Puka Nacua and George Pickens are first team.
Say Jamar Chase,
Nico Collins, and Olave are
okay.
Second team. See, Olave's out with a blood clot.
Ooh, not good.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. Okay.
Yeah, so he'll miss the game on Saturday. I think they play. His running backs, 2 running backs, first team and then second team. Who are they?
They're Bijan Robinson.
Correct.
And who was the next running back?
Seemed like a no-brainer the first 8 games of the season.
No-brainer the first 8 games. I'd have to think about this. Jahmyr Gibbs.
No. Colts.
Oh, Taylor.
Yep, Taylor. Who are his two quarterbacks are?
This year they are Stafford was 1 or 2, and is it Darnold?
He is Drake May first team and Matthew Stafford second
May.
team.
Drake May.
Yep.
Drake May. Wow, Drake May. He can pass it, man. And his release is so smooth. When he takes a little off, like he just feathers that thing in there, man.
You know, one area I looked at too, because I would say the first thing I looked at was guard, because I wanted to make sure that Joe Thuney was first team, which he was easy. The second area I went to was safety. Given
Byard wasn't
Kevin
on there.
Byard wasn't on there, it wasn't one of the four. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not mad about
Thought
it.
that was. Oh yeah, no,
I don't get
not
protective of Bears guys.
Yeah, you do. You get very protective of 4,000 passing yards too.
Don't
You
get me
fucking
started.
want it. You want it. You hope that he gets there. 270 is all he needs.
That's going to do it for today's edition.
We're going to leave it on that lie.
Well, no, I'm just going to let you buy time so you can have the clothes loaded up here.
Yeah, I'm good. I got it.
Are you sure?
Yeah. What show is this?
This is
Progress. Okay.
This is
Yes,
Forward
making sure.
Progress.
Yeah, making sure I
It
get the
has
right one.
been. It has been, as far as you know. This has been Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast here on 312 Sports.
Forward progress has stopped. 10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress. A Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.